Arbitrage betting is a strategy which lets you profit no matter which sides win on a sport event. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works and how the math behind it is completely bulletproof and how to actually get started as a beginner. My name is Theo and I'm one of the youngest professional sports bettors in Europe, and this is going to be the clearest breakdown of arbitrage betting that you will be able to find online. So let's start with the basics. Arbitrage betting, or arbing, or short betting, which are also other names for it, is when you bet on all different outcomes of one event at odds that guarantee that you actually make a profit. Now, I know that sounds almost too good to be true, so I'm going to give you a real-world example of how you can do this. Imagine you find a buyer for a pair of sneakers. They want to buy a pair of Air Force Ones for $100. Now, let's say you go on a website and you find that pair for $80, and with shipping, that is going to be, let's say, $85. Now, if you buy that pair of sneakers for $85 and already secure that buyer for $100, you're going to be making a guaranteed profit of $15. You buy it on one side and you sell on the other with the exact same product. And you just made $15 guaranteed. And that is arbitrage. And betting arbitrage is the exact same thing but applied to odds instead. Now, why is this possible? Well, it's because different bookmakers favor different teams. Let's say bookmaker A, let's say it's Unibet, favors team A, and Bet365 favors team B. Well, if those gaps are far enough apart, a mathematical opportunity presents itself. And some of these opportunities are 5%, 10%, 20% in arbitrage opportunity, which gives you an insane amount of profit if bet correctly. So let me walk you through a real-world example with concrete bet odds. Take a tennis match. We have player A versus player B. Bookmaker 1 prices player A to win at 2.1 odds. Bookmaker B prices player B to win at 2.1 odds. Normally, the implied probability of a bet should always exceed 100% because bookmakers need to have a margin to make money. That is basically their profit. And in sports betting, it's called their VIG, the juice, or their margin. But in this case, since we have both of the bookmakers pricing their individual team at 2.1, we have an implied probability of both of those events at less than 100%. And that's the arbitrage opportunity. So here's what you do. You stake $100 on one side on player A, on bookmaker A, and you stake $100 on bookmaker B on player B. So collectively here, you have invested $200. And if player 1 wins, you receive a payout of $210 because you gain $110 from the bookmaker A and you lose your 100 stake on bookmaker B. And if the player B wins, you get the exact same thing, but like the opposite. So you get $210 from player B, from bookmaker B, and you lose your $100 stake on bookmaker A. And $10 profit from a $200 stake is a 5% arbitrage profit. That's like a guaranteed 5%. And if you're used to betting big parlays, combining different bets to get like 150 times payout, this might sound like a very small return. But let's think about it. The stock market returns an average of like 5 to 10, 12% per year, depending on what year you look at. But over time, maybe like 8 to 10% without factoring in inflation. Now, if you take sports betting, you can literally get 5 to 10% per day on your capital. And obviously you cannot place down $1 million a day and, profit insanely, because obviously then everybody would do that. But doing this 5 to 10 times per day, just like I do, I managed to make like $200 to $500 per day. So how do you actually find these betting opportunities? Because manually scanning odds between like a ton of different bookmakers is tedious, and I tried it personally and it's hell. It's like you're sitting in a big Excel file without any organization. And the answer to this is odds comparison software, and these have been around for a long time, but recently they've gotten even better. These tools can scan like hundreds of different bookmakers and compare the odds and try to find value and arbitrage opportunities in between them. They do the math for you and tell you where to bet, so you only have to think about what amount of capital you're going to invest and what you're going to spend your next profit on. In Europe, the main tools are going to be Rebel Betting like OddsMonkey, BetBurger, and in the US it's mostly OddsJam. But I will focus on what works for me the most, because I'm not American, so I don't really have the exact workflow, but I know that American sports bettors are making more than European ones, and if I was in America, I would literally make up to $50,000 a month. So the process for finding arbitrage opportunities is very simple, honestly. The only thing you have to do is first get a software, then let that software find you an arbitrage opportunity. You go and check on both of these bookmakers if the odds are still at the price that the software says to make sure. And step 3 is to place both of these bets pretty quickly before the lines move. And after the event is finished, you basically collect your profit and reinvest it into your betting or take it out and spend it on something. The most important thing when doing arbitrage, value betting, and all of these different strategies is usually speed. Because if you have a software that a lot of people uses and one big opportunity gets flagged, and let's say 1,000 different people come in and try to bet at one thing, the bookmakers are essentially going to say, wow, why are too many people betting here? They're going to change the odds pretty quickly. So here's where speed is extremely important. Arbitrage opportunities can disappear in minutes, and this is why it's so important to have like 2 to 3 hours per day where you can do this and really lock in. Just sit, put on some music, and sit in front of your computer. Now, I want to be completely honest here because I want my brand to be as authentic as possible. Now, there are limits to arbitrage sports betting, and a lot of videos skip this part and write it out to be like some guaranteed profit opportunity, but it isn't. Arbitrage betting works mathematically, of course, and it's a guaranteed way to make profit, but there are some real world challenges that you need to know about. So the first challenge and the biggest hurdle is bookmaker restrictions. This is where bookmakers limit you after you've won a certain amount or won a certain amount of consecutive bets in a row, or just beat the closing line value consistently. And if you use the same accounts and arbitrage too aggressively, it's completely legal and within the bookmaker's right to refuse you to play. Most bookmakers will give you back your money, of course, and give you all your profits, but that's only if they're licensed. So be careful with offshore bookmakers and so on. Challenge number 2 in this case is the odds moving too quickly. Some tools are really slow nowadays. Some tools have been very good in the past, but as the internet speed has improved all over the world, and as bookmaker services and odds providers have gotten better, they also change the lines more quickly. So after a website or a tool scrapes the data from the bookmaker, it takes too much time before it can actually reach the end user. The solution to not missing these bets is to always try to get and bet on the side where it's the least likely to move quickly. So let's say you have a bet on one side that is 1.5 odds, and then you have another side that is 3.0. You probably should bet on the 3.0 side first, as that is going to move the most amount. These challenges are manageable, and I'm currently working around them. The way to do that, I will drop another video on it, and I'll drop a full tutorial on how to beat these challenges. So how much can you actually make? This is the question that is the most important, because some people overrepresent it. They post wins every single day. And if you do arbitrage betting, obviously you're going to win every day. But some people only post mega win parlays, just like lottery ticket. They put in $10 and they make $15,000 in one bet. And that's completely untrue. Most of the sports bettor online are trying to sell you their picks, a course, some mentorship program, some VIP program or something. And if you usually see big wins on their page, and it's only wins and they have no proven track record or anything, it's probably a scammer. I'm fully transparent with my track record. I post my results every single day on Twitter. You can always DM me and I'll provide you all of my track record. And it's also pretty stupid because the amount of money that you're going to make fully depends on your bankroll. Some people tell, oh, this is how you make $50,000 a month sports betting. Well, obviously, if you have $1 million, you can make $50,000 a month, but you're not going to be able to make $50,000 a month if you have $500 to start with. So with a starting bankroll of around £500 to £1,000, in euros, that would be about the same. You can expect to make between $300 to $500 up to $1,000 a month, depending on how much you're willing to bet every single day. If you have a 10% ROI on arbitrage betting and you have $1,000 in bankroll and you manage to put down all of your money every single day, well, you're going to go and make $100 a day, and that's very manageable. If you have a much bigger bankroll, you should probably stick with value betting, since that is going to let your accounts live longer. But with arbitrage betting, you don't need that much money to start. You can start with $500 to $1,000. And if you have, let's say, $100,000 to invest, contact me before betting any money, because I don't want you to lose it all by betting on really weird markets or getting scammed by some guru. As your bankroll grows and the more accounts that you have access to via friends or via offshore books or some other method, your betting is going to scale significantly. Because I usually find like five arbitrage opportunities per day, and when they come, they're so extremely profitable. Like I got one a couple of days ago where it was 20% ROI, and I managed to get down $3,000. So I made $600 in a single day. It was pretty crazy. And I only could do that because I had so many different betting accounts. So what your end goal usually is within sports betting is to get 3 accounts at the same bookmaker so you can place down 3 times as much money and make 3 times as much profit. And the only way to do that is, of course, by using your friends and family's accounts, but that's for a completely another video, and you need to follow your local laws and regulations. But the biggest misconception about betting is that it's like a get-rich-quick scheme. It's more closely related to trading and institutional investing than a get-rich-quick scheme or some other type of business. Your bankroll is your lifeblood, and your strategy is kind of your way to grow that bankroll. And the returns that you will be able to make with sports betting are the returns calculated by your mathematical system, whether it's a custom system with like a ton of different data points, or if you're using a software, and I'm going to link some of them down below. And it's never because you're just getting lucky. Now I'm going to give you 3 steps on how to start doing this, and I'm not going to sell you a course or a group or something like that. Step 1, open as many accounts on different bookmakers as possible. If you're in Europe, that means opening up accounts on all your local bookmakers, the exchanges like Betfair, S-Markets, Polymarket, Bet Online. I would say avoid bookmaker.eu. That one has refused to give me out my money. Sign up for an odds comparison tool. Most have a 7-day free trial. You can get a 7-day free trial with OddsJam down below. It is the most comprehensive tool out there in the market. It's a little bit more on the expensive side, but if you have the money for it, it's going to give you the most amount of returns possible. There are also a few different other alternatives, and I'm going to drop one, which is the cheapest alternative, down below as well. And combine that with a tracking tool that I built, that's going to give you about the same effect as OddsJam. Now, step 3 is to start small. Use a small portion of your bankroll to kind of get into it, find your system, and get used to the speed, the process, and placing bets on 2 books simultaneously, whether that is if you get like a bigger monitor or if you have 2 different tabs open. I recently purchased a big screen monitor, so I can literally have like 3 tabs open next to each other like this. And once you're comfortable and see that you're making money, then you can scale up the operation by investing more money into it. Don't overcomplicate things at the start. You don't really need any proxies. You don't need any like tons of different accounts. Just open accounts in your own name on all of these different bookmakers, and you're going to be able to get up pretty quickly. Now, arbitrage betting is one of those strategies that is completely mathematical and where profit is guaranteed. There's no prediction involved, there's no luck, just maths and execution. And if you want to go deeper into sports betting and kind of understand the different sports betting strategies, I'm going to make more videos on those. I'm going to try to make 1 video per day, I promise myself, because I really want to get this information out there into the world. I'll be covering the tools that I personally use in my daily day-to-day betting. I'll be covering how to protect your accounts from getting limited, and how arbitrage fits into a full and complete betting system, and how you should manage your money and your bankroll. So subscribe if you want to see the full breakdown of my personal entire system. Everything I talked about in this video is going to be linked down below in the description. You can check out my Twitter profile for daily results. You can check the free Telegram group where I post some daily bets as well. And all of these softwares are down in the description for you to use and try for free. My name is Theo, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.